If I were to tell you who was the star of last night's NXT episode, I would say Mr. NXT. Don't stop believing. I will give NXT credit this week for actually putting on a decent show last night. Last week I didn't think it was a really good show overall, but TakeOver was one of the best I've seen. Probably a lot better than NXT Arrival because of the main event that happened on TakeOver was a lot better than the main event on Arrival. Now, with this week's episode of NXT, to me, this show, finally we get that show that follows TakeOver, and it's actually a really good show. And I like that we got a variety on the show. There were 4 matches on the card, and I like how all these 4 matches had something to offer in a sense. We got that variety, we got that Divas match, we get that Jobber Squash match, we get the fun and entertaining match, and we get that 4-star classic. So at least with this episode of NXT, we get that variety. We don't get the same type of match, one after another after another after another. So with all that being said, let's just get right down to it. The first match on the show was a Six-Diva tag team match. It was Bayley, Emma, Paige versus Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Summer Rae. And this was an okay match. I'm not going to go crazy and go into detail of why this is just an okay match. I think the reason why I wasn't going crazy about this match is because of the way NXT really underutilized Paige in this match. They didn't even use her at all. She was just there on the apron, and when she comes in, it's right at the end of the match, and she gets a few hits in, and then that's it. And it's amazing how NXT has been treating Paige ever since they stripped her of the championship. Why not? Why not have her face Charlotte at TakeOver? Because she was there on the show, and they strip her of the championship. I don't understand the logic behind that. Same thing with on this week's episode, not using Paige at all. She's there on NXT. Use her, even though the idea is for her to come back down to NXT to help out the new talent on NXT. Just use her, for God's sake. I mean, at least Emma was in most of the time in this match. And Bayley, here's the thing. To me, when NXT puts on Divas matches, I don't want to see 6-person Divas matches because we don't get to see the full potential of some of the Divas. Like, for instance, we don't get to see a lot of Sasha Banks. We don't get to see a lot of Summer Rae. Even Bayley, for that matter. I think they could have used a lot more Bayley in this match as well. I mean, basically, this match was Emma doing the job for the BFFs. And this match was all about, using the tension and planting the seeds of that breakup of Summer Rae and Charlotte. I could probably see something happening. But the way this match ended, to me, NXT could use this opportunity right now because Bayley pinned Charlotte in this match. I see her being the one next in line for the next contender for the championship, and I can see a potential rivalry because NXT at one point did do a rivalry between Bayley and Charlotte, so they could use that, I think, here now after coming off after this win for Bayley. So overall, this was just an okay match. They underutilized Paige. We didn't get to see a lot of the other Divas in this match, not for a long time at all. At least Sasha Banks got a lot more than Bayley did, but overall, I just wasn't feeling this match at all to kick off NXT. And then we get to see Colin Cassidy versus Sylvester, and before we got to see either one of these guys. We get to see CJ Parker in the audience with the environment sign again, and I was expecting him at the end of this match to probably come out and interfere. No, I was wrong about that. I think they could have done something there to use CJ Parker at the end, because this segment did start off with CJ Parker. I may be overthinking it, but I'll just move on from it. We get to see Colin Cassidy versus Sylvester. This was basically the jobber squash match of the show, just a 1-star match. And the one thing I'm really disappointed on here with this match is that NXT is struggling now with the tag team division, and they need more teams. And to me, they used Sylvester Lefort, and his tag team partner was there at ringside. They're kind of like the new La Resistance kind of gimmick on NXT, and I think there was a missed opportunity here to use the team as a team instead of having one of the guys being squashed in a match from a singles competitor. I don't really understand the logic behind what NXT is doing here with this new team, because this is a new team that could develop in the tag team division, because it sucks right now. We need more teams on NXT, but at least with this match, they used Colin Cassidy right here. It was only a few minute match where he gets the crowd going, and he nails his signature moves, the big boot, and his finisher right at the end. So at least they're actually using Colin Cassidy as a 7-foot tall giant. That's the only redeeming quality that I found after this match. But like I said, I was expecting some sort of feud to start between CJ Parker and Colin Cassidy. And I never really got that. And when it comes to the Colin Cassidy character as a whole, yes, he has the size, yes, he can get the crowd going, but I just feel like there's something missing. And so more. And I can't quite put my finger right on it. It is weird. Moving on, the next match on the show was Sami Zayn versus Mr. NXT. And and before this match came about, we saw this guy in the mask backstage with JBL, and he signs a contract, and thank you. And he's like, I will believe, and he kind of caught himself and said something else, and you just knew who it was. Like right at the very beginning, it's Bo Dallas in a mask, posing as Mr. NXT, and here I'm thinking, I feel like I'm watching Hulk Hogan doing Mr. America. It's something along those lines. If you get the idea, you just know it's Bo Dallas. It's just that kind of situation. And this was a really funny and entertaining match. Throughout the entire thing, you have that moment where Sami Zayn takes off his mask and capitalizes on it, pins him 1, 2, 3. And I like the chants that were going on in this match as well. You get the "You can't fool us" chant, and you also get the Captain Underpants. And all the while Bo Dallas is screaming, all in the while Mr. NXT is screaming, "I'm not Bo Dallas." This was just funny as hell. This was just awesome, really fun and entertaining and exciting to watch. And you have Sami Zayn go over. That was the idea. And then and after the match, 4 police officers are coming out now and escorting Bo Dallas out of the arena. And here you have Bo Dallas running from them, trying to outrun 4 police officers. This was just funny, and I just love the way that they use Bo Dallas on this show. This is this kind of stuff the WWE should be using Bo Dallas with on Raw and SmackDown. Do this kind of stuff, or something similar to it. I don't know. It's just the way NXT uses Bo Dallas. It feels refreshing, and it's not the same old that we see Bo Dallas on Raw and SmackDown. And so with all that being said, this was, like I said, fun and entertaining to watch. And the main event was Adrian Neville versus Tyson Kidd for the NXT Championship, and Natalya in Tyson Kidd's corner. And here I'm thinking Natalya is going to be the deciding factor in this match long before anything happens. Yeah, I was right. So in a sense, it was a predictable kind of match, but it was still a really good closer to NXT. I don't think this match was as good as their match at TakeOver, but it was still a really great match on the show. And here you have the Adrian Neville being compared to Rob Van Dam by one of the commentators, and here I'm thinking, yeah, he is similar to Rob Van Dam. He's also similar to guys maybe like John Morrison or Billy Kidman or Evan Bourne. You know, a lot of guys you can compare to Adrian Neville, and Rob Van Dam is a really good comparison, in my opinion. Maybe one day when Adrian Neville does come up to Raw and SmackDown, he could do a tag team with Rob Van Dam or be a feud with them. You can do all sorts of things with Adrian Neville when they do put him up to Raw. So many things you can do, and with this match, again, predictable. You knew Adrian Neville was going to win. I didn't see Tyson Kidd winning in this match, but however, there was a moment where Tyson Kidd nailed the blockbuster, and here I'm thinking, oh, this match is going to be over. 1-2, no, Adrian Neville kicks out, and then Tyson Kidd applies the sharpshooter, and I like how Adrian Neville was selling the sharpshooter, struggling, trying to get to the ropes. He was really good here. And there were a lot of good spots in this match. There was one moment where Tyson Kidd had Adrian Neville like hung up on the bottom rope, and he'd done this flip leg drop. That was really good. And you have Adrian Neville, of course, suicide diving out of the ring. But there was one moment that really made me mark out. And the split second after he hit Red Arrow, he flips over on his back and pins Tyson Kidd. I know the way I'm describing it sounds like weird, but it's just one of those things you have to see to know what I'm talking about. He hits the Red Arrow, and in that very second, he flips over on his back and pins Tyson Kidd. And I'm like, holy crap, that was actually a good pop moment right there. So there were a lot of great things happening in this match, and overall, this was a really good way to showcase Adrian Neville and Tyson Kidd to their full potential. And this is what they should have been doing with the Divas that kicked off the show. So overall, to me, this was a hit and miss kind of episode, but it was still a really fun show to watch. If I were to rate the show out of 10, maybe a 7 or 7.5. So overall, I was having fun with this episode, and it was a really good show coming off after TakeOver as well. And if you saw NXT last night, what did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. While you're at it, you can hit that subscribe button down below this video. You can also follow MRB Wrestling on Twitter, and you can like us on Facebook at the Mick Rock and Bolt Wrestling Review Show. And on a final note to all you viewers watching, get plenty of rest, and always do your best.